inquiry. So if you're aspiring to be a councillor in local government, you've come to the right place tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you the thinking man's mayor, someone at the coal face of local government. Please put your hands together for Mayor Col Dunkley.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, representatives of community business centres in Victoria, representatives of local government throughout this wonderful state of Victoria, and everyone else. It is with great pride, with a tremendous sense of honour and equal humility that I'm here tonight to talk to you about the tremendously exciting world of local government. But look, before I go any further, there are a couple of things that I want to make crystal clear. Look, I'm not Col Dunkley, ex-mayor of Arcadia Waters. I'm sorry, Grant, you've got it wrong again. But due to certain contractual restrictions, Col Dunkley, desperate as he was to attend this exciting event, had to decline this tremendous offer to speak to you all about the exciting world of local government. He has bestowed upon me the honour of representing him here tonight, an honour which, ladies and gentlemen, I do not take lightly. But look, I know you're all thinking, look, if he's not Col Dunkley, what's with the chains? What's with the roads? You're all thinking that, I can see that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the reason I'm wearing these robes is very simple. Before I embarked on this task of talking to you good folk on the wonderful world of local government, Col had one important bit of advice. Wear the robes, he said. No, he said, they won't respect you if you don't. So look, I managed to acquire this beautiful set of mayoral robes. And I have to say, as soon as I put them on, I knew exactly what Col was talking about. They are very powerful indeed, ladies and gentlemen. And I know that sometimes Col used to just slip them on at home, you know, when he was feeling a bit down. And needed a lift of some sort. And his neighbours would often see him in the backyard, just lounging around in the Meal Road. Nude, of course, but except for the Meal Road. So he's a character, he's Col Dunkley. But look, ladies and gentlemen, I have personally known Col Dunkley for many years. I've shared his ups and his downs, more ups than downs, as Col would say. And I feel more than qualified to share with you some of the things we've both learned about the exciting world of local government through our association with the ABC documentary series, Grassroots. I'm sure many of you caught that. Now, just a bit of a show of hands. Anyone catch the documentary series on local government called Grassroots? Yeah. Excellent. Well, you'll be up to speed. Now, anyone here who didn't actually catch that series, hands up if you wouldn't mind. Look, you might as well leave now because you won't have a bloody clue what I'm talking about. Anyway, look, stay, please. Col was in fact very disappointed not to be able to attend this evening because Col, as much as anyone, is more than aware of the vital role that conferences play in one's commitment to caring deeply and passionately about one's community and future. And look, I'm well aware that of the vital importance of conferences, not just for finance managers and all people who work with local government, but all senior members of staff in local government. And I cannot tell you how many times Col has tried to set up a meeting with the General Manager, Greg Dominelli, only to be told, I'm sorry, Col, I'm in a conference. No, I'm in a conference all next week. No, I'll actually be in a conference in Canada, Col. And if you ask why something hasn't been done that should have been done, I'm sorry, Col, I was in a conference. Well, that's what conferences are all about, aren't they, ladies and gentlemen? They're an excuse to get out of the office. No, they're an excuse to move deadlines, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. They're an excuse to be somewhere else other than where you are needed to be at that very moment. And look, I know it is an excuse that Col Dunkley was champing at the bit to be a part of. Now, ladies and gentlemen, another show of hands. Hands up those in the room with an MBA. No, only one brave enough to own up. All right, I'll direct me if you see. And look, I don't know this for a fact, ladies and gentlemen. set me straight if I'm right or wrong. But I strongly suspect that in the average MBA course, and let's face it, most MBA courses are average, there is a strand on conferences. And I would say that if you don't know how to find a suitable, justifiable conference at any moment, when you feel you want to get out of the office for a couple of days, or a conference overseas, if you want a bit of a holiday, if you don't know how to organise that, then you should go back to business school and pay attention this time, alright? Now I believe the same thing to be true about meetings. If Greg isn't in a conference, he's certainly in a meeting. His life seems to me to be one big, long meeting. Or more accurately, I suppose, one meeting after another, after another, after another. If he isn't actually attending a meeting, he's planning a meeting, or preparing for a meeting, or rescheduling a meeting, or debriefing from a meeting, and then planning even more meetings. There are some people who just want to be left alone to get on with actually doing some work, but they haven't got MBAs. People like Greg want to hold a meeting where the entire agenda is to set the agenda for another meeting, at which a schedule of meetings will be discussed with a view to diarising further meetings, where all the meetings held so far will be reviewed in an ongoing series of meetings. In fact, Greg spends so much bloody time in meetings, I wonder sometimes how he ever got married and had children. I've often wondered how he made the time, and I'll tell you what's fascinating, I've often wondered what he put in his diary. Ladies and gentlemen, at this stage, there are 34 institutions in Australia offering MBA degrees. And all those courses training people in the art and importance of meetings will get to a point where there'll be no work done anywhere in the country, because everyone will be tied up in a meeting. As I said before, if they're not in a meeting, they'll be at a conference. Right? Which is, after all, another name for a bigger meeting. Now, please don't think, ladies and gentlemen, that I personally am not sympathetic. Most modern workplaces are very stressful, and few more so than local government. Shrinking budgets and growing demands and increasing criticism. Staff is constantly asked to do more with less, and the result is a tremendous amount of stress and strain for every individual. And so a conference like this one provides a break. But ladies and gentlemen, there's also an opportunity to learn something, or even several somethings, if it's a really bloody good conference, as I'm sure this one will be. And you learn things you couldn't possibly learn anywhere else, by any other means. Not from a colleague, not from a book, not from the internet, no, you will only learn these very special and tremendously unique things by going to a conference. And even when you don't learn anything, the conference is still valuable, because while you were sitting there relaxing through another PowerPoint presentation, a thought might occur to you, a valuable thought, which would not have occurred to you when you're not being there at that moment in that room listening to that speaker with that particular dot point in front of you. And even if not one single thought occurs to you at the conference. Deja vu here, ladies and gentlemen. Even if you come away without anything new, the conference is still not a waste of time. Not at all. Conference has been very valuable because you've been able to network, meet new people, make new contacts. Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? And what this means is that back in your office you will have a whole lot of business cards, which you put in a drawer. You'll leave them there, and one day you'll be having a big clean out, and you'll wonder why you kept them in the first place. And look, ladies and gentlemen, you can't throw them out with a clear conscience, because probably at that moment you're throwing all these business cards away. Someone, somewhere, is throwing your card away. And look, let's face it, there's one more very, very important aspect which applies at conferences. They're a place where people with MBAs can meet other people with MBAs. Pick up all the gossip and plan their next career move. I'm sure that's where Greg picked up his contact with State Fisheries. And look, I can see the value of the MBA to the MBA holder. Obviously what you learn is not so much how to run a business, but how to impress a panel in an interview, so that they believe you can run a business. And then, before anyone finds out whether you can or can't, you move onwards and upwards to an even better job. So look, I'm sure you can all well understand Col's disappointment at being unable to attend this this exciting event. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I plunge into the exciting world of local government, I'd just like to clear up a couple of very important things. I just want to say that I have made the decision that this would be a PowerPoint-free zone. That was a brave decision. I could have used PowerPoint. I've just bet any other speaker at a conference these days. But I'm not going to. So during this address, you can just relax and you can listen. You won't have to read as well. Because I'm well aware that there are some speakers, ladies and gentlemen, and every word they say, it goes up on the screen as though this is not a gathering of intelligent, educated, literate people. Many of you with MBAs. I'll have only a couple prepared to admit it. But more like read along with mother. As they speak, their words go up on the screen, and we find out that apparently these days, everyone speaks in dot points. Have you noticed that these days? Language today has become ruled by dot points. And now look, as I said, I'm not going to do that. Call me old-fashioned. But I prefer to listen to what someone has to say without having to read the subtitles. Now look, the other thing that I would like to clear up on Col's behalf, ladies and gentlemen, is the recent investigation into Arcadia Waters Council and the subsequent allegedly damning report from the Department of Local Government. Now look, I've been instructed by Col to make it perfectly clear that far from being a damning indictment of corruption, it is actually a ringing endorsement of Arcadia Waters Council. It throws a lot of mud, of course, but none of it sticks. There is page after page of recommendations, which is a complete bloody waste of time, because there is not one thing on that list that Col assures me that he was not on the verge of getting around to doing something about in the not too distant future. In fact, Col has rung the Minister and he said, "Thank you, Tony, thank you, mate, you have done us proud." So look, anyone here connected with local government who might be the subject of a damning report at some stage soon, of course I don't just mean Frankston, about anywhere. But there's your response straight off. It is a ringing endorsement. So look, if there is anyone here from Frankston Council who'd like a bit of advice, I'll be more than happy to have a yarn after this address. I'll recognise you, of course, because you'll be in Mopperton. Now look, ladies and gentlemen, speaking about the end of my address, I will of course be happy to answer any of your questions regarding my experiences in local government. So if you've got anything you want to ask, start thinking about it now, and come up with it at the end of my keynote address. But look, I would like to state, however, that I won't be answering any questions regarding Col's personal life. I would like to assert on Col's behalf, despite some scurrilous rumours concerning his wife's departure, he's actually a happy married man. He and his wife Julie are estranged. However, he remains hopeful of a reconciliation in the very near future. Look, I must admit to feeling a little daunted prospect of sharing my thoughts on and experiences in local government with so many people who would already be familiar with the finer points of the machinations of local government. I'm of course aware that this state has seen probably the greatest upheaval of this tier of government in living memory during the reign of the previous state government. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that the experiences of many people in this room would render the Col's ongoing battle with Councillor Biddy Marchant seem very tame indeed by comparison. And I'd just like to say on the subject of amalgamation, I know it's a rather large issue here in this state over the last couple of years. I would like to squash any rumours that Arcadia Waters Council will be merging with Frankston Council. I can say quite unequivocally this will not be happening. So, ladies and gentlemen, local government. Name? Local government. What an exciting bloody world, eh? And look, I don't say that lightly, ladies and gentlemen. Working with people who are passionate about energetic, vibrant, sustainable communities must be the most exciting thing you can do with your life. And I know it's something that Col just loves to do. I tell you what, it certainly excites him. And I can certainly see the attraction. Of course, Col is no longer in the sand pit of local government. He's attempting to leap into the bear pit of state politics, running as an independent candidate for the state seat of Arcadia Waters. Councillor Biddy Marchant is now in control of Arcadia Waters Council. And look, I know Col would agree with me on this when I say that as far as caring passionately about energetic, vibrant, sustainable communities, Biddy Marchant's record stands for itself. I'll just leave that one here to the side there. But I'm obviously unable to comment that due to the recent restraining order that Biddy Marchant is pursuing against Mayor Dunkley. Well, now, you know, Col's always maintained that local government is the most effective, democratic and directly accessible form of government that we've got. Now, I believe passionately in democracy, except that sometimes, and I'll be perfectly frank here, you've got to deal with idiots. Apart from that, it works perfectly, doesn't it? But I've always been confident in Col's ability to deal with the idiots. And as I look around this room, look, call me presumptuous, but I see a room full of people who look to me like they can handle an idiot or two. Might be right, ladies and gentlemen. Right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I just mentioned a key word when it comes to local government, and that is direct access. Unlike other tiers of government where the politicians have walls of secretaries, advisors and minders to ensure that they never, ever have to deal directly with ordinary people, God forbid, unless of course it's in their best interest to do so. In local government, no such infrastructure exists. And if you, as a ratepayer, want to be heard, you can ring the mayor and talk to him, or her, directly. And in fact, most local politicians welcome the direct access as an excuse to convince the ratepayer that they are doing a bloody good job and you should vote for them. Now, Col Dunkley has always maintained that one of the most important skills of any leader, and indeed any politician, apart from being able to deal with the idiots, is the ability to negotiate and compromise with other politicians who may not necessarily share your vision for the community. And of course, what makes this even more tricky is that due to their direct accessibility to the public, all councillors have their ears bent in several different directions at once. It's not a good look, especially on Harry Bond. More on Harry Bond a little later. Now, Col's team of community independents worked pretty well together, I think, until, of course, Harry resigned and Irene stabbed him in the back. But, of course, could never really have achieved anything without the support of independent councillor Karen Schumacher. Now, I know for the fact that Col Council is one of his major achievements in the final mayoral years was his close working relationship he developed with Councillor Schumacher. He looks forward to a continuation of that relationship in the state political scene. Now look, infighting, ladies and gentlemen. Infighting. I know that infighting amongst councillors is a very sensitive subject, not just here in the wonderful state of Victoria, but obviously in my own backyard in Sydney. There have been some interesting times, as the old Chinese proverb goes. But I'd like to reassure you that along with Frankston, Warringah and Cogra councils, the Arcadia Waters Council is a model of smooth running and harmonious local government. Squeaky clean, ladies and gentlemen, squeaky clean. I know there have been rumours and a lot of talk about infighting between my team of community independents, or I should say Col's team, and the Liberal faction led by Councillor Biddy Marchant. But let me assure you that Col Dunkley has the utmost respect for Councillor Marchant and wishes her well in her quest to represent the Liberal Party in any blue ribbon seat that comes her way. She has been described rather unkindly as a funnel web in a frock. Now look, I think that's pretty unfair. Funnel webs rarely count an unprovoked attack. And look, I think the frocks are terrific, absolutely terrific. I think her husband, the Honourable Warwick Marchant MP, is a very lucky man, and I think they make a great couple. As for the rest of the faction, the only one with any real credibility in Col's view would be Councillor Salwa Mandikas, to whom he is eternally indebted for her vote in one of the mayoral elections. However, Councillors Mann and Trujillo, one of whom is a real estate agent. Any surprises there, ladies and gentlemen? Been very uncooperative. Sadly out of touch with the community, as clearly demonstrated in the East Cemetery Point Development Project, which I'm sure you've all heard about. Look, the change of office are a very heavy burden, ladies and gentlemen. It's very difficult being a leader these days, very difficult being a politician, and one of the most difficult tasks is organising your own faction to present a united front on the many issues and obstacles that confront local government. Now, I stated earlier in my address that Deputy Mayor, Councillor Harry Bond, is a great servant of the community. Not only does he represent the people of Arcadia Waters as a councillor, he's also heavily involved in the Surf Club, the Arcadia Waters Bowling Club. He stands for many of the things that are good in our community, ladies and gentlemen. I just wish occasionally that he would just finish a sentence. Quite frankly, half the time I've no idea what he's talking about. No idea whatsoever. Get the big picture with Harry, not interested. I still can't actually believe that he'd prefer a sausage sizzle to a concert featuring Dame Kiri Takanoa singing songs of the sea right there on the beach in Arcadia Waters, but there you go. That's an old issue, I don't want to bring that one up again. I said before that one of the skills of being a leader in a democracy is being able to deal with the idiots. But look, you don't expect to have to deal with them in your own facts, do you? So there you go. That is the skill of Col Dunkley, ladies and gentlemen. That is the skill that he possesses and has resulted in one of the most outstanding lists of absolutely tremendous achievements in his tenure as Mayor of Arcadia Waters, servant of the people. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we all know that Col Dunkley is no longer Mayor of Arcadia Waters. And at this, in his final meeting as Mayor, Col withdrew his nomination for another term as Mayor on a principle. That was the principle of never being defeated. He knew that the writing was on the wall, and having lost the support of Councillor Irene Chung and the sad resignation of the aforementioned Harry Bond, it was inevitable that Councillor Biddy Marchant was going to win the mayoral ballot. Now, I think, ladies and gentlemen, that it was a wise decision because, let's face it, Col Dunkley is a winner. And during his term of office as Mayor of Arcadia Waters, it was also the people of Arcadia Waters who were the winners. And I want to also add the businesses of Arcadia Waters, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's probably apt at this juncture to just go through some of the tremendously exciting achievements of Mayor Col Dunkley. Of course, the first major achievement is the simple one of managing the mayoral duties while at the same time holding down a regular job. That is if you call lecturing and take a regular job. Col is, of course, a mechanical engineer by trade, trained at the University of Wollongong, which, as coincidence would have it, is my alma mater as well. But I remember Frank Sartor, the ex-mayor of Sydney, now Minister for well, just about everything in the car Labor government in New South Wales, being very impressed with Col's ability to hold down a full-time job, if you can call lecturing and take a full-time job, as well as being mayor. Impossible, he roared. Now, when I told him of Col's dual roles, once he realised I was telling the truth, again another rare occurrence in politics at any level, he was amazed. I am in awe of Col Dunkley, I think he said. And I think I replied, we all are, Frank, we all are. One of Col's major achievements covered during the second series of that particular documentary series I was talking about before, Grassroots, was the restructuring of Arcadia Waters' garbage disposal system. Although there were a few hiccups, i.e. 2-week garbage strike, coinciding with a visit from the investigator from the Department of Local Government, a massive payout to the sacked workers and a lot of personal flack directed towards Col, I personally think it was a great success. The garbage disposal system is now privatised at great cost reduction to the ratepayers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I only recently arrived here in this wonderful state of Victoria, but I didn't happen to catch the Moonee Valley leader, the date being Monday the 7th of July. And I noticed the headline, City Cash for Trash Racket Investigation. Let me just read you a little of this, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the script from the documentary series Grassroots, this is actually real, ladies and gentlemen. This is a story by Nicole Cox. She's not a novelist, is she? Private investigators have been called in to investigate an alleged garbage collection racket in Moonee Valley. The leader believes the investigation centres on rubbish collections in Moonee Ponds around Puckle and Pratt Streets. A leader survey of several traders last week found 2 who said they had paid cash to council rubbish collectors for extra pickups to avoid the high cost of private rubbish collections. And all those surveyed had received up to 3 collections a week until 2 weeks ago when it was cut back to 1. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the major achievements of Col Dunkley. You will never see a headline like this in Arcadia Waters, I can tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, anyone who doesn't agree with the joys of privatisation should have a little chat with Greg Dynelli, Arcadia Water's General Manager. For the very successful privatisation of our childcare operations, and the outsourcing of every major service that the council used to provide, Greg broke some sort of record this year. He successfully privatised the tea room. If there's any out there with any influence in local government, I think you might be able to run that one by your local shire, because I think it's a great initiative. One of the other major successes of the last year in Col Train was, of course, Beetlemania. This was a tremendously exciting launch of the African dung beetle. The environmentally friendly and cost-effective way to deal with the huge problem of the dog excrement, which is an issue which keeps many councils awake at night, ladies and gentlemen, trying to solve that particular thorny issue. A tremendous event, I'll tell you what, it was an absolutely bloody tremendous event. Got maximum media exposure, which managed to keep Eddie Marchant off the front page of the local rag. So that was a huge bonus. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that just about brings me to the end of the keynote address. Of course, there are many major achievements in Col Dunkley's reign. The holding of the cemetery point development, which I'm sure you're all very well aware of. But just in closing, ladies and gentlemen, Col has asked me to thank a few people who we get around to thanking at the end of his mayoral reign. Janice Corniglio, his secretary. Janice always managed to handle the thorny issues of people trying to see Col when Col didn't want to see them. And I just think Col just wanted to let everyone know that I was happy with her personal relationship. It is professional, and he would just like to thank her very much. And of course, just finally, some people will be aware, of course, that Col's personal assistant left the Arcadia Waters Council and was replaced by a young lady by the name of Bell, who did a tremendous job. There have been various rumours spreading, ladies and gentlemen. It's a long time ago, but the rumours are still flying around that there was something improper in the Helen Mansouphis departure from Arcadia Waters Council. Col would just like to make it very clear there was nothing untoward about this. She's moved on to greener pastures, and he wishes her very well for the future. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I will leave it at that for the moment, but look, as I said before, I hope you've got your thinking caps on. I did ask you earlier in my speech to start thinking about any questions that you'd like to ask me, so you've had fair warning. If you haven't got any questions, I'll be off. But if you have got any questions, I'll be here till the cock crows. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? I'd like to open up the floor, any questions that you might have regarding local government on any level, or as I said, I won't be answering any personal questions, but certainly I'll be happy to answer any questions you have on local government. None? Tremendous. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, up the back there, yes, sir.
Interested to find out Col's attitude to town planning in relation to George.
I'm sorry? George who?
George.
I think George Hasnikov.
That's correct.
Town planning. Look, George Hasnikov is a great servant of Arcadia Waters. George Hasnikov is the can-do man. I know a lot of people like to see Col as the man, the man who gets things moving, but I can assure you George Hasnikov is probably the most influential figure in Arcadia Waters Council. I don't know whether that was made very clear in the documentary series. But yes, look, absolutely tremendous job in town planning. I think what we see now in Arcadia Waters, the wonderful, vibrant, sustainable community that we have is certainly resounding. George Hasnikov, wonderful, wonderful work. Another one over here, yes, sir.
I know Col's a very humble person.
He is,
he hasn't been embarrassed by all the documentaries made of him. Is it the intention that he's further embarrassed?
Look, let me just say that he's not embarrassed. Col Dunkley is a humble man, don't get me wrong. But the one thing I've noticed in my association with local government, you'll never find a mayor shying away from a camera. I think we've all would have experienced that, and certainly Col is no exception. I think he enjoyed it, and but I think he'd love to do it again. Championing the bit, I think, with his words. But now the ABC doesn't seem interested in local government anymore. It's interested in a lot of thorny medical issues and bushfire brigades or something. So unfortunately local government is on the back burner for a while. But certainly, yeah, anyone who's interested in seeing another documentary series, you can certainly pressure the ABC, and I'm sure they'd welcome that pressure. They haven't got enough at the moment. Don't tell me there are no more questions, surely. I've covered everything. Yes, sir, down the front.
We're all here because of our small business sectors, our retail centres. What sort of work's happening in Arcadia Waters to really prop up and support the small business sector and the retail sector in Arcadia Waters?
Look, there have been some major initiatives. About 12 months ago, I initiated a campaign. Local business, local government, hand in hand, walking into the future. It was an absolutely tremendous success. So there's your answer. Yes.
All the way from the USA.
Yay! I'm just curious what kind of recommendation or advice you might have for the incoming governor of California.
Right, look, I tell you, the incoming governor of California reminds me of a certain mayor in Sydney, who was also the subject of a documentary series on local government. His name was Larry Hand. His nickname was Larry the Hand. I think you know where I'm going with that one. My advice to the future government of California would be keep your bloody hands to yourself. Yes, you man. Come on, speak up. Don't be shy.
If Col Dunkley's not in council in Sydney, would there be any chance that he would aspire to running for council in Frankston?
Well, I know for sure he does have a pair of moccasins. So he certainly wouldn't be out of place in that community. Look, I don't know. I'd have to run it by him, but look, he's open to all offers, and I know he is currently working with Councillor Karen Schumacher very, very closely, I might add, in the campaign for a local independent in state politics in New South Wales. However, if he is unsuccessful, then I'm certain he would consider all offers. Yes.
I just as a hard-working council officer,
yes.
would you comment on councillors and mayors' inability to read briefing notes?
Look, I remember one instance, I remember one occasion. Look, it's a very good question. It's a very thorny issue. I remember one occasion, was when we privatised childcare. I had to deliver the speech, hand over childcare to the private operator. My PA at the time, on man service, this is not the reason why she left, I might add. She wrote a rather derogatory speech about the company who was about to take over. Col didn't read it. And Col was severely embarrassed. So look, I think Col, along with a lot of people, does have a big problem with reading the briefing notes. But look, I think you've got to take into account the workload of local government politicians. They're very stressed. They have a big workload. They expect the people who brief them to brief them properly and tell them the important things they should read. They don't need to read everything. They should acquaint themselves with a highlight pen. And they should use them liberally. I think that would be Col's response on that one. Ladies and gentlemen, that's needs to be better. Thank you very much for your indulgence. Have a lovely conference.
Thank you very much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have our main course served very shortly, and following that, Geoff will be back for a launch of the difference. Thank you very much.